Item number SCP-1356. Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1356 is kept in a small box in the storage facilities of Research Sector 9, unless approved for removal and transportation. Description: SCP-1356 is a small bat toy resembling one of the several generic rubber duck designs. Tests indicate that the object is made of a plasticized polyvinyl chloride. It is designed to emit a sharp squeak when squeezed. When held by a human subject, the object appears to displace liquid water if a subject holding the toy attempts to enter a lake or pool. For example, they will find that all liquid within the area extending approximately 152.4 by 181.3 by 45.7 centimeters from the body disappears. Tests performed in a small indoor pool revealed that the approximate volume of water before and after exposure to SCP-1356 remained consistent. However, even in the presence of a subject holding the anomalous duck, water levels were never observed to rise. This suggests that the object displaces the liquid to an unknown location from which it eventually returns. No unusual or foreign substances have yet to be detected in displacement water, although pH levels indicate a slight increase in acidity. As the depth of displaced water never exceeds an average of 46 centimeters a subject walking into a deep pool will eventually find their feet and legs submerged, while most of the body remains dry. Even vigorous motions and leaps, however, never surface to bring the upper body into contact with water. The rectangular dry space seamlessly shifts to accommodate even the most abrupt movements. Testing to discover the parameters of this phenomenon, as well as the potential practical use, are ongoing. See enclosed documents for updates and results. Excerpt 1. Trenchless Effect. Objective: to determine the parameters of the dry space. Procedure: subjects of various heights instructed to enter the water with SCP-1356 at depths never exceeding the subject's shoulder height. Subject encouraged to make every effort to bring hands or face into contact with the water surrounding the dry space created by the object. Results: so long as the subject is standing in the depth of the water, the dry space will shift in accordance with the subject's motions, appearing to create a mobile rectangular indent in the water. This phenomena, for unknown reasons, does not apply to the lower extremities in the depths exceeding 46 centimeters. When test subject bends, water recedes rather than come into contact with hands. The upper body dry space appears to maintain its shape and volume as a rule. If subject is at sufficient depth bends to the point of resisting on hands and knees, the dry space will be carried over with water. Subjects report no change in air pressure. However, breathability of the air is limited. The greatest depth at which the total submersion of the subject in dry space could achieve was approximately 1.5 meters, dependent on height of subject. Excerpt 2. Insufficient life raft. Objective: determine whether dry space displacement can be used to keep subject afloat in deep water. Procedure: 4 subjects of sufficient strength and flexibility instructed to carry SCP-1356 into water of a depth of 2.5 meters and attempt to draw legs up to dry space. All subjects report the same results, with variable degrees of difficulty and time elapsed before exhaustion. The following rules have now been consistently demonstrated. Once subject is out of the standing depth, dry area, SCP-1356 creates an area the subject remains its shape, volume, and orientation of the surface of the water. 2. Out of the standard depth, subject's orientation inside the dry area becomes fixed, floating at waist depth. Subject will now be able to submerge hands and forearms in water below waist level, but any attempts to raise this water in handfuls is impossible. 3. Attempts to reorient upper or lower body inside dry space are exhausting but prove fruitless. In addition, remaining in this suspended state for more than 10 minutes negatively impacts the circulation of the blood to the lower body, resulting in intense cramping and faintness. Excerpt 3. Sinking test. Objective: the test subject's anomalous properties were not carried in contact with human subject. Procedure 1. SCP-1356 placed into a small pool. Results: object does not displace any amount of water, or affect pH levels in any significant way. Object floats. Procedure 2. SCP-1356 is placed in a small pool and bombarded with jets of water and various items. Results: despite the object's plant PVC materials being easily damaged outside of the water, will loosen any volume of water sufficient to keep it afloat. Object appears to resist all attempts to sink or damage it, bobbing, but always appears to rest all attempts remaining upright and afloat. While the subject's origins in mind, these results might be prompting to examine the events and outcomes of Incident F 1982 more closely. Always struck me as our business. Dr. Durova. Addendum 1. Prolonged exposure to SCP-1356, hereafter defined as a sustained interval approaching or exceeding 2 hours in any depth of water, appears to affect the subject's skin, which takes on the prune-like texture associated with anatomic nerve responses to prolonged contact with water. After 2.5 hours of exposure, a subject was also found to be significantly dehydrated despite receiving fluids before exposure to SCP-1356 and sweating minimally. Addendum 2. No. Close. Of course, it seems we haven't been testing the items intended purpose. I imagine my nephew would say it works rather well. Dr. C.